Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and our special guest for this edition is Mr. Jeromie Shines. And you're connected with Right Now TV, I understand it?
Yes.
Well, would you like to say a few things about Right Now TV before we get started?
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking to definitely get into Right Now TV.
Good.
Just moved to Missoula, and yeah, we'll see where it takes us.
Good for you. Yeah. Jose and I are friends, and I've done some stuff on his show before, and his Right Now TV network and things like that. Well, it's more music related in my case, but I think yours would be more intense, obviously, because you're doing some producing and behind the scenes and all that.
Yeah.
Of his? Yeah. So I think that'll be a good experience for you. Now, are you from Missoula?
I'm not from Missoula.
Okay,
no.
where are you from? If you don't mind my asking.
I'm from Southern California.
Oh, really? What part?
San Bernardino County. So
Really? Okay. Yeah. I used to do some work out there in Los Angeles area, San Bernardino area years ago.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
What brings you to Montana from San Bernardino?
This.
Yeah.
This brings me here, you
Oh,
know.
you mean this Right Now TV?
Yeah, you know.
All right.
There's amazing people, you know.
Yeah, well, this MCAT studio is an interesting organization in itself. It gives people chances to produce shows and just all kinds of fun things. And
Yeah.
in my case, this is called Asaph Cafe. And I got the idea from this show from a movie called Casablanca. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, Humphrey Bogart, you may not know him. He was the main actor in this film, and he owned a cafe called Rick's Cafe. And my name's Asaph, so I just kind of expanded on that.
Yeah.
Instead of calling it Rick's Cafe, I called it Asaph Cafe. And I left out the letter S on purpose.
Yeah.
So just call it Asaph Cafe. And the premise of this show, like if I interview someone, all I do is just talk to them while I play the piano like I'm about to do now. And let's see, what would be a song that somebody your age would probably like? Let's see if you know this one. Here's the verse coming up. Recognize it? Material Girl by Madonna. I'll stop right there.
That's good. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that's just kind of a piano classical version of those popular songs.
Yeah, I really felt it. I was like, whoa.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been playing the piano since I was 10 years old. And I don't know if Jose told you, I've got this new television show here that I'm trying to launch off in real life.
Oh, wow.
It's called Music with Asaph. It's a remake of the Lawrence Welk show. I don't know if you know who Lawrence Welk was. It's kind of a musical show. This show got picked up by PBS. So what I'm going to attempt to do is take this show and make it weekly on the PBS network, probably by the end of this year.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
It can be done.
It's fun to help others. Like if they, like the people that are connected here, if they ask me to help them, I try to help them, like Jose and his Right Now TV and all the other people that are connected with MK. Ooh, there's a note there. So anyway, you said you're from San Bernardino, and you're here in Missoula, Montana. Are you going to be going to school
I
soon?
am this spring on the 28th of January.
Good for you. What are you going to be taking up in school?
Theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you. I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you know any lines from a play or something you want to recite on TV or act out for a moment? Are there any past experiences? Just anything. Just a couple lines.
Anything.
Just anything that you can
Whoa.
think of.
Oh, yeah. I got some layers.
All right. Here. Let's have at it. Give me a couple of lines of something from a play or a musical or a song or whatever that you've done.
Oh, wow.
Take your time because we got plenty of time. We got about 40 minutes. If you think of something, you're
Oh,
welcome to.
I mean, there's a lot. It's just
Just
what.
pick anything at random, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like I told you, this is an impromptu show, so. If you think of something you want to act out a line, have at it. But in the meantime, while you're thinking, let me ask you a couple of questions. So you're going to be starting school and doing theater and drama and all that, right? You have any future plans as you're going to school?
Definitely, you know, there's a lot of living to do.
Well, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of learning and living and
yeah. Now, you did some work in California, obviously, before you came here, right? Okay, that's good. You're right. I guess you'll do a lot of living here in a place like Missoula.
It never stops. You know, you never stop learning.
That's
it's
true.
Just constant, like. So it's very
you
interesting.
never learn it all. There's a famous trumpeter in the past named Doc Severinsen that said that. I don't know if you know him, but he's one of the best trumpeters ever. He played with Johnny Carson for like 30 years on NBC.
Oh, okay.
And he said that you never learn it all.
Yeah.
But again, I'm trying to get to make it relevant because you're so young, obviously, and so you probably won't know who Doc Severinsen is. But anyway, that's cool that you're here in Missoula, Montana, from California, and you'll be starting school and you'll be doing your drama and probably acting, right? And
yeah, we're gonna definitely be doing everything as much as possible.
I think they do a lot of plays, right in here in Missoula, from what I understand. A lot of plays and musicals, and you'll probably be doing stuff at the Missoula Children's Theater, I would imagine, too, stuff like that. So that's a neat place.
Yeah.
And I think you'll get your feet wet and get a lot of experience.
I'm excited. I mean, it's you know, been chasing this for a while.
You've been to California, you were chasing that? Good for you.
Yeah, just kind of trying to find the place that's the place of home, you know.
Okay. I still want you to think of some acting lines or something that you've done, so I'll give you the opportunity if you think of something while we're talking.
What was that one I had?
Now, let's see, your family obviously is in California, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you have any brothers and sisters?
I do.
Good. And do they have, showbiz aspirations like yourself?
Yeah, I suppose we all have it, you know. Whether we continue with it or not is the biggest difference, but definitely it's all in all of us.
Well, you know, yeah, gosh, watching you reminds me of me when I was probably about your age. Because with me, I went to the San Francisco Conservatory in California. It's like in the San Francisco area. I don't know if you know that school or not. And of course, we're talking years ago, so I'm sure in 2016 it's changed. Probably all fancy with the computers and what have you. But that's where I studied. And then after I went to that school, I got my first job in Hollywood when I was 21.
Oh, wow.
Well, I was really lucky because in my case, I started at Loyola Marymount University. I don't know if you know that school in California or not. And what they did was they invited me to do all their musical functions at that school at that time because they didn't have music then. And then there was a student there who was friends with Bumps Blackwell. You may not know him, but he was Little Richard's manager and some of the famous people of the past. And I wound up getting to study with him for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And it just grew. So with you starting school, you never know where it might lead, you know?
Yeah.
You never know what opportunity is going to come your way, some acting job, some theater job, you know, whatever. You never know. So I just wish you all the best.
Definitely.
I think that is exciting that you're here and you're going to get to do that. And no telling what you're going to get yourself into with Right Now TV.
I know there's just so many hands of just like people just coming up to me now, and I'm just kind of like, oh, this is going to be normal. You know, so.
Well, this is more of a what do you call it? College town, arts town anyway, compared to most cities, I would imagine, in Montana. But as you're going to university and doing your thing, you don't know. Like I said, you don't know where it's going to lead. Somebody might watch you maybe a year from now and give you a chance on what do you call it, off Broadway. You're familiar with that, I'm sure. That's sort of like a step under the Broadway in New York, but you can't underestimate that. Talent scouts are always lurking around those places like that, always looking for young talent. So you just never know where you're going to end up, maybe a year or two from now. Because like the things I got to do, I never thought I would do them. I never thought I'd get my first job in Los Angeles, of all places. And then eventually, by the time I was like 26, I was playing in Vegas. So who knows? And with you going into your acting and so on, you might be in a movie and I might be watching TV and hey, wait a minute, I know that young man. So you just never know where life's gonna take you.
Yeah, it's exciting. But
yeah, it is. But I know you don't need me to tell you that you have to use common sense too. There's a lot of legitimate folks and non-legitimate, and you'll
it's part of the journey.
Yeah, right.
Accept it all.
Yeah, so you'll learn. But there's good people here at MCAT, and of course Jose is good people as you'll saying goes. So I think you're in good hands, not only at the university but with him and all the other people you'll eventually meet. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I could feel the love.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And you'd be surprised how many people watch this show. So I want to give you some exposure. Look at that camera.
I like it.
Oh, while I'm thinking of it, is there anyone in particular that you can think of that you'd like to say hello to? Just look right into that camera and say hello to some folks.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Shines.
Okay, and Jeremy's going to have a wonderful future, and I'm glad he's part of this segment of Asaph Cafe. I've been doing this show for about 1.5 years, maybe closer to 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And this format is so unusual, I think that's why it works. Mm-hmm. Like I told you, there's nothing planned. There's you never know what we're going to talk about. I mean, we have talked about everything on this show from mail order brides to Wonder Woman. In the 1.5 years that I've been doing this show, it's just funny because sometime, like in the summer, I'll walk the streets of Missoula and I'll just recruit someone in a sandwich shop or something, bring them on, just have them sit in with me for about 40 minutes, and 20 minutes have almost gone by in the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, just time just
I've got some monologues, and then I can get some friends up here in the sense of like I can play them. Like I'm very observant. All right. So like unconsciously I just noticed that like after being around someone for so long, I can kind of just like move with them and understand and kind of put myself into their.
Well, I admit I'm not an actor or anything like that, but I just wanted to give you a small opportunity to just do something.
I can do Dr. Smith. I could do Dr. Smith or
are you talking about Dr. Smith on Lost in Space, the television show?
Dr. Smith.
This Smith.
This Dr. Smith, yeah.
All right,
I could do that, or I could do the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Let's take the Joker. I think more people know who the Joker is.
Oh, okay.
You want to do some Joker? Let's see.
Yeah. Like the Christopher Nolan Joker.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like very like dark.
I know, I'm familiar with it. So
okay. All right. This is one of the last lines when
do some very soft chords while you're doing your character. Go ahead.
Our Dark Knight finally captures the masked crusader. So it just resonated with me the most. This is why.
Okay.
You just couldn't let me go, could you? This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You truly are incorruptible, aren't you? You won't kill me out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness. And I won't kill you. Because you're just too much fun. I think you and I are destined to do this forever. Maybe you and I can share one. That'll be doubling up the city's inhabitants and losing their minds. I think that's all I got right now.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I'm kind of like putting my own into it,
Well, I understand that, but see, and I didn't want to put you on the spot, but see, my point was, in real life someday, you might get in a situation where you're put on the spot by a director who might see you.
Yeah.
And he'll say something like, kid, can you do such and such, just so you get an idea. And you never know who's going to be watching this show about a week or two from now.
Yeah.
when it airs. There might be some, we talked about the university, there might be a professor that happens to be watching this. Mm-hmm. And you never know. So yeah, if you want to do some more acting while you're on here, while we're talking, feel free to.
I've lost my mind a few times in life, and I realized that it was necessary. And now I just feel like it's always gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love just.
All right, let me ask you something from an African American point of view. When you were pursuing your dream in California, did you ever get any resistance from people in the African American community, in a sense? And what I mean by that is, it doesn't have to be professional people. It could be like, say, someone who knew you had a dream, or someone that, it could be family or just friends or someone. Did you ever get negative stuff like you shouldn't follow that dream, or or bluntly speaking, African American to African American, did you ever get comments in the African American community that you should not follow this dream, or you're too white, or some negative thing like that? Did you ever have that happen to you? Or maybe a lack of support in small circles?
Who doesn't have that happen to them is more what I would say.
I'm going somewhere with this, but I think in the African American community, it's even more at times, because there's this stigma with the African American people that if you do a certain thing, like what you want to get into, like say drama, theater, they think it's something that only white people do. So they throw you in this category of you just want to be white, like the white guy, and it's just a negative way of squashing a dream. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And what I'm saying, African American to African American, I want to encourage you to follow that dream, should that ever happen to you. Now, maybe it won't happen to you so much in Missoula, but like in the big cities like Los Angeles, and you can get that a lot. And there are a lot of prominent African American people out there that have made it big, like the Serena sisters, the tennis, Venus Williams and Serena Williams. Or Misty Copeland, I don't know if you know her. She's the first African American principal dancer for the Nutcracker in the ballet. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's probably about your age. She was a bit on the world news, and she made it big. But see, the point that I'm going is, she must have experienced things like that too. I know I did. And like you're talking about human nature, it happens. So I just want to encourage you to not buy into that.
Oh, I'm no more susceptible for
for
discouragement in any form.
Well, I realize
I'm aware of it.
Yeah, it's out there.
I don't encourage it.
Right.
It's all about acceptance. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
No one's gonna do it for you. You got to do it yourself.
Oh yeah.
You got to save yourself.
And you may have heard Oprah Winfrey say this too. When you have a dream, and there's people who do not believe in your dream, don't take it personal. And what I mean by that is, don't have the attitude, okay, I'll show that person. I'm going to follow my dream just to show them.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? Don't go on it to try to show someone. Go into it because you love the art form. Because like I told Linda in the prior show, we were talking about that very thing. When you have a dream, if a person thinks a certain way about you before you make it, they're going to think the same thing after you make it. They're not going to come up to you and say, oh, we're sorry that we said this. No, they're going to probably think the same thing. So my words would be, follow your art form because it's something you love. That's what I do. And if I had listened to people when I was even probably your age, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Even though I'm not an actor like you, or Broadway, just piano, but it's the same principle.
I once heard we're all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. I mean, yeah, there might be different venues of entertainment, and of course, I'm not an actor, and I'll never be one. I mean, the closest I ever came to acting, they gave me a tiny bit part in this film that they were doing in California once, and they hired me to be this psychologist. All I had to do was just when the phone rang, pick up the phone and say teen hotline. That's it. And it was just a tiny little part. I mean, I don't even know if they used the film footage, but that's about the biggest, closest to my acting I've ever done. Because I'm more into music, so.
Oh, yeah.
But it was kind of cool, to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience being exposed.
I mean, it was like just so short. I mean, after about a half hour, they sent me on my way, and I think I went and got a ham sandwich after that or something because I was done. But But in your case, it's more exciting because you're going to stick out because you're doing the acting and the drama and the play and the theater, and no telling what else you're going to be doing. And who knows? You may be in New York one day. You may transfer from here to there. You never know.
I'm looking forward to it. You know?
Yeah, that's my point.
I'm looking forward to keep going up and.
Yeah, and I hope that works well for you too, because that's exciting. In fact, it's always exciting when I see younger people that want to follow that kind of thing. So
it's never too late.
Oh, of course not.
You know, that's awesome.
I'm just making noise while I'm talking.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I like it.
Been a while since I've done that tango, but anyway, gosh, with your age here, I'm just trying to think of something. You might know this song. Okay, I found one. I'll play it for you. You want to run around in slow motion? No, I'm just kidding. So is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience about yourself? We know you're from California. We know you're going to school. You're going to be in the arts, and you'll probably have a great career in film, acting, whatever. Anything else you do? You have any hobbies or anything?
Yeah, I think I mentioned I'm a writer, director.
There you go.
All those things.
And
editor.
Have you written some stuff on your own, like plays,
yes,
dramas,
lots.
television shows, or anything?
Definitely a lot.
Cool. That's cool.
There's a lot. There's just, it's like it never ends. I feel like, you know, like there's so many ideas.
So. Yeah,
there's
well,
so many.
what you're getting into, yeah. I mean, that'll probably keep you going for a long time too.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably write a book one day or two when you get older and experience things like you talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like there's a lot to do in the world, really.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I find it really hard to be bored.
Oh yeah. Let's see what else. Besides your hobbies and stuff, do you do any sports activities or anything like that?
Mr. Sinclair, co-partner.
Okay.
Along with Dr. Smith, they're gonna be they're very universal, you know, in what they do, and I'm supposed to be going into a lot of outdoors this year.
Good for you.
What I hear. Yeah.
Let me see that flyer for a second. Let me give a really good plug.
Yeah.
They probably can't see it on camera, but this is I Am Right Now TV with Jose Smith, who is the creator, right, of Right Now Television. So that's pretty cool. You're working with him, and I'm sure there's other people involved in that too. So you'll have Right Now TV, you'll have your schooling and your plays and whatever you're going to get yourself into, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a busy year.
Yeah, I can imagine. For you, it probably will
yeah,
be.
but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you know, when I was at the conservatory, of course, it wasn't acting. It was more music. So what they did there was, like, if you wanted to be an opera singer, they had classes that they were training people to, you know, do opera songs like arias and things like that. And boy, they made you practice an awful lot. And that was pretty cool. And then there was a class that I took called solfege. I don't know if you know what that is. Instead of singing a song, like, you know how we sing a song with words, like, I don't know, say a Prince song or, I don't know, Patti LaBelle or somebody. They would use the syllables do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do instead of the actual words. And so, for example, here's a crude analogy. Let's say you're going to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Instead of going Mary Had a Little Lamb, it would be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You know the syllables? So it would be mi, re, do, re, mi, re, mi, sol, you know, something like that. And they had a scene like that in the movie The Sound of Music. I don't know if you saw that or not with Julie Andrews. Well, there was a scene where she was up in the hills with the Van Trapp children, and she was going to teach them how to sing. And before she could teach them to sing, she had to teach them the alphabet of music, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, which you may have heard. and so she was teaching them the solfege in the film, and then they changed the solfege words to actual words. It was just a cute scene watching that. So. But that was a fun class that we took at the conservatory, and of course, you're not gonna walk around singing mi re do re mi re re mi sol kind of thing. You'll say the actual words, but it's just kind of a cool thing to take a song. It's any song. Like they had these little song books, maybe not this thick, but song books, and they would be more intense songs, and you had to use those syllables. So. But they teach you how to do that, and they train you. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like a blind thing.
Yeah.
So, when you start your acting, they may teach that. I don't know. Well, this is my autobiography. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just recently got published. So.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And it's available on Amazon.com. It talks about things like childhood, growing up, some of the things you and I talked about. The synopsis of the book is right here.
Yeah, I like that.
Unfortunately, some people have some pretty uncomfortable childhoods, and I was one of those people. So this book just talks about the healing process and perseverance, like you mentioned, and things like that. So, but Linda and I were talking about this book on past shows, and she's got a copy. And of course, since you're here in Missoula, if you don't go to Amazon.com, you can buy it at Hastings or Fact and Fiction downtown. Or, something like that. So, and you can also go to the Garden of Reading and get a copy too. So, I'm trying to get this book into the Barnes and Noble system where it'll go national. But even if it goes national, I don't have the name necessarily as far as in the literary world. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, I like it.
So I'm humbled to get this far, and of course, this is that television show I was telling you about. So that's as far as I've got. But I had a lot of help though. And so as you start pursuing your career, there'll probably be people that come your way like with me, and they'll help you with projects that you'll do in the future and things like that. Now, this is going to be a stupid question, but I'm just asking for the sake of asking. Now, you're not married or anything, are you?
No.
Are you married? Okay. Well, some people your age are, so.
Yeah.
Some people marry young, and they pursue their dream anyway. So.
Yeah. I feel like it's like kind of backwards because I'm like wearing this thing, but I'm wearing it on the other hand.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's all right. Well, there's nothing wrong with being single. That's a good thing too.
This says a San Francisco ring when I left San Francisco, and I was shopping for some luggage to move out over here to Montana.
Oh yeah.
And I just looked at it, and for some reason I was like, I should buy that. Last year, or not even that, just when I originally first arrived to San Francisco, it was really tough. It was like...
Yeah, I'm familiar with San Francisco. So
there was a lot of, like, growing up that I hadn't done yet, and, like, looking back at it, it was really tough. It was hard, but it prevailed,
Yeah, it's like I was talking about, and I told Linda in my past show, this is one of the reasons I moved to Montana. I just got tired of the big city existence, if you know what I'm talking about. You got to get your street smarts on, if you know what I'm talking about. You just got to have it on when you're in the big cities. And I'm not saying you don't have to have it on in Missoula. You do, but not to the degree like the big city, if you know what I'm talking about. So having worked in Vegas and Hollywood and Los Angeles when I was about your age and stuff, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. You got to get that game face on.
It's I Love San Francisco ring.
Yeah,
it was a growing up stage that I can look back at it and go, wow, I've learned a lot.
Good for you. And you'll learn more like you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I know you must know this song. I left my heart in San Francisco. Stop right there, but
that's beautiful. I like it.
But that was put out, back in the 50s, I believe, by Tony Bennett. You probably might know him. He's older now. He sings with Lady Gaga. You might know who she is.
Yeah.
The older guy that sings with Lady Gaga all the time, that was Tony Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
And when he was a young man, he introduced that song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, to the world. So it went on to become, in his case, his signature song. And of course, everybody has done that song since.
Mm-hmm.
There are some songs which you may have heard that have stood the test of time. Once an artist introduces it, everybody does it. Like, for example, you may know this one here.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, I missed that note there, but it gives you an idea. Painted Black. The Stones. So it's the same thing with Tony Bennett. He introduced I Left My Heart in San Francisco. It became such a treasure. What is it? They call it American Treasure, and it's a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
Painted Black for Mick Jagger and the Stones. And
Mm-hmm.
there's other songs that have stood the test of time that certain artists do, and then everybody starts doing it. So that's kind of the history of I Left My Heart in San Francisco. So I figured you might know that song now.
Yeah.
Now, are you into rap music or anything like that?
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite rap artists that you...
ASAP. ASAP Rocky.
I've heard that name, actually.
Yeah.
I have to admit, well, being older, too.
One of my favorite tracks.
Okay.
M's.
Okay. You remember Rick James, don't you?
Yes.
Well, my cousin Greg in San Francisco used to play with him.
Oh, wow.
And I went to a recording session once, and of course they didn't have all the computer stuff at that time that they do today. They had what was called the quarter-inch reel-to-reel tapes. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It was like these. It was like a tape recorder, and the tape was about this thick that spun around on these old machines. And
Yeah.
They used to do the recording that way. And I went to a recording studio in San Francisco once for my cousin Greg, and the band that they had there, they were actually laying down rhythmic tracks for a song that Rick James was writing. And oh gosh, that was just such an impressive thing to see that in real life. And in those days, they would have the musician on one side of the room with this glass. You may know what I'm talking about, the way they used to do it. And they would have like it was a 16-track mixer boards on the other side, and they had engineers around, and they would be, doing their stuff here. And the band would be playing, and I was sitting like in the background just watching that, and it was just one of the most impressive things to see these young musicians do all this music for a song that Rick James was getting ready to record. And of course he eventually records it, and it was just so cool to watch that, how they were putting that together. So you may get some experiences like that one day.
Yeah, I mean, in every moment.
And of course we know Rick James is gone now, but in his time...
Whoa.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm just kind of adjusting.
Yeah, he dominated the, what did they call it, funk world at that time.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, and, what was that one song, Freaky Girl, I think was the name of the song?
Uh-huh.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
And then MC Hammer came out with his version, Can't Touch This. So.
Yeah.
But that's fun. And what other kind of music or rap artists do you like besides... Was it ASAP you mentioned?
Yeah, ASAP. I mean, there's like a lot, like Jeezy, T.I., Lil Wayne. I think,
yeah,
I
just
just
Lil Wayne,
I love art, basically.
Well, I know it's an art form, and it's what is it, rhythmic and talking, but it's still an art form.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite singer per se? Any singers or dancers or any?
I mean, I like it all.
I realize that.
It's I can't really specify what I.
So you just kind of just listen to music all around and just go around it. Ooh, that's good.
It just depends on the mood.
Yeah. Well, at least you know who Tony Bennett is. Just watch Lady Gaga and the old guy, and you know who I'm talking about. Lady Gaga, she's an interesting performer to me.
Yeah.
I've never seen her in live concert, but I've seen enough of her on television that it's interesting, different, but like any generation that comes up, I think that each generation has their music. Like in the 50s, they had what was called boogie woogie. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. Well, that won't mean anything to you. And then in the 60s, they had the Motown sound. I don't know if you're familiar with them, like Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross. And I'm dating myself, obviously. And then in the 70s, they had just musical groups. in the 80s, it was, David Bowie. We just lost him a couple days. I think you might know who he was. Each generation, 90s and 2000 and so on, they have their thing. And rap was evolving too, and so was black music. That was evolving too in those years. So there are a lot of, they call it black music. There was Luther Vandross. I don't know if you know him. He was a famous soul singer, they called him. And, he did a lot of love songs. There was people like Barry White. I don't know if you know him. So it's evolving. And of course there was Morris Day and the Time. I don't know if you know who they are. Do you know them?
No.
Well, okay. They had their stride, I think, in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and of course Prince. I don't know if you know him or not.
I know Prince.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's had his stride too,
Yeah.
But my point is, every generation has their artists coming up. So that's why I was asking if you had a favorite.
Oh, okay.
In your
Oh,
generation.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? If
yeah,
you have
okay.
like a favorite singer or well, we talked about the rap, so I want to focus on a singer. If you have a favorite singer or dancer, or
just someone that I watch a lot. Is that just with music you're
Okay.
looking for?
Yeah.
You're looking for an artist?
Yeah. Is there a particular artist you listen to, or a dancer even, since you're going into Broadway and what have you, or acting, or okay? Is there a favorite actor you have?
Yes, definitely.
Who's some of your favorite actors you like that are current?
Leonardo DiCaprio's.
Yeah, he's quite good.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
A lot of what's his name? Matthew McConaughey.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I know who these people are.
They're doing it. I like their dedication to the craft. Jared Leto.
Well, see, you're about to launch in the same thing that they probably did when before they got started. So that's why I was saying earlier on this show that you don't know where the arts is going to take you, say a year or two from now. So I guess I'll have to keep an eye on you in a sense.
Yeah.
Listen for that name. Are you going to keep your name if you make it big? Or are you going to have a stage name or change name?
I haven't honestly really decided. Yeah, there's a lot of names I'm being called right now.
Well, let me hear a few. What are some of the names they're calling?
I'm being called. My other name on my Facebook is Dennis Merck.
Okay.
And Dennis was what my mom was supposed to name me. She said she was going to name me Dennis after Dennis the Menace.
Okay.
But then she named me Jeremy.
She named you Jeremy. Okay.
Yeah, and
Now, I'm curious. When your mother was going to name you Dennis, was that based on a comic character or the television show that they had in the 50s?
I'm sure probably both, but I'm sure if.
Are you familiar with the television show Dennis the Menace? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
The black and white one?
Yeah.
With Jay North? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
At least you know one show from the past.
Yeah. I gotta watch that again.
That was a pretty cool show. I used to watch that show.
He was so innocent. He was so innocent in what he was doing.
Well, that's what was fun about the show because they had to keep it based on the comic character. So that was fun watching that. Let's see if I can remember how that theme song went.
It's like he knows what he's doing, but
something like that. Anyway, but yeah, I'm glad you know that. So anyway, getting back to your Facebook. So
and then
your Facebook is
Merc. Merc is like mercenary. Kind of just like a story I started to write when I'm still writing it. It's a TV series.
Oh, good for you.
It's
good
a TV
you.
series, and I'm still working on it.
Good
and
for you.
It's just really the hardest part is just figuring out how to put everything together.
Well, what you might do. I don't know if it'll help you, but you can maybe look up directors on Google, like say a famous director that you might be familiar with, and check out their background, how they were writing things. Maybe that might help you. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But good for you. I hope you get that written. That'd be kind of cool to do that.
Yeah.
See?
There's a lot to get done.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have your work cut out for you. You might even have homework assignments where they might have you write and stuff.
Yeah.
So just prepare yourself.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I don't know anything about the theater and the drama department at the university, but I can only assume that they're gonna be working you.
I've already came from from school in San Francisco for acting and theater, so I'm pretty familiar with what they're talking about.
Yeah. It's called the Anniversary Waltz. Yeah. So this is interesting. And I wanted the television audience to know more about you because I'm going to give you a copy of the show when it's done.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, you won't have to wait till a week from now. I'm going to make you a copy of this show, and you can
Awesome.
take it around to
Yeah, that'll be fun.
maybe use it for an audition for someone that might want to know something about you. So in our remaining time, is there any last minute things you want to tell, like a casting director or something about you or something that maybe they can use on this show if get you a future job or something? I don't know.
Oh,
Can you think of anything you'd like to tell the audience about you or?
I would say about me, life is a journey.
That's true.
Life is a journey, and every moment matters. And the most valuable currency is time and what we give to others.
Well, I think
That starts to open up the doors.
good.
And
Well, I think you're going to be given to a lot of people when you start school and start doing all your
Yeah.
drama and acting and
believe and have faith and never give up and
try to get the right people in your life too, like we
Yeah.
talked about earlier. You don't, and I'm not being critical when I say this. You don't want to have that negative influences around you because it'll
yeah.
just hinder you.
Yeah. You
And-
definitely want to be around people who are
Positive people, you need that. Yeah.
who are encouraging and whatnot, because
Absolutely.
when you start to get up there, I'm starting to feel it now. When you start knowing you're going somewhere is when you start really hearing that
Yeah.
that negative energy.
And Linda was talking about that before you appeared on this show. We were just talking about that where people, it's like when you first have a dream, everybody seems like they're all for it because you're not really doing anything. You're just talking.
Mhm.
But then when it starts to materialize, all of a sudden, in some people's view, it starts changing. Now, maybe you haven't experienced that, but some people do. And their attitude starts changing, their support starts changing. And it's interesting because then you can find out who your real friends are, in a sense.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
far
I'm
as-
definitely like the first door. I'm starting to open the door.
Mhm.
I'm opening my door in myself, and then everything's become so clear. So when I'm talking, they're asking me what I'm doing, and I'm telling them,
Mhm.
and then yeah, definitely their attitudes are changing, and I'm
Right.
kind of just like, when I was when the door wasn't open, and it was
Yeah,
dark.
it's like they're all there when
It was
the door
dark
is
inside
open.
there,
Right,
like
Well, I hear you. That's why
everyone starts to be funny.
That's why I wanted to encourage you.
So
You follow that dream of yours and use common sense while you're following the dream.
Yeah.
And you can discern what advice and opinion to use and what not to use.
how you feel about it,
Yeah.
it's all in your heart.
I think you'll
how
know.
you feel about it.
Follow your instincts.
Follow
yeah.
your instincts.
That's
Follow your
it.
heart. Your heart will tell you. If it doesn't
And
feel
that's
right,
right.
it'll tell you.
And I just say get a thick rhinoceros hide.
Yeah.
If you start getting negative stuff,
Mm.
you just get that rhinoceros hide where it just bounces off you. Don't take it personal, like I said, and just go on and do your thing.
Just
Do
move
it.
through it
Yeah.
like water.
Because if you live your life by other people's standards and other
Mhm.
people's expectations, it will never be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
It'll always be, something else.
Mhm.
Good example, you haven't read this book obviously,
Mm.
but I went to this phase where I was going to live my life by people's expectations.
Mhm.
I gave up my music for a whole year. You know what I did? I took a job at the Holiday Inn, and I used to mop this big, humongous hotel. And them hotels get big when you got a little single mop,
Mhm.
and you got the old clothes on.
Mhm.
I had to be there at 5 a.m. And so the very people that were telling me I should quit music and be normal, whatever normal is, and get 9 to 5, right?
I just heard that recently too.
Okay, well, I gotta tell you the story. So anyway, Asaph quits his music. I didn't even practice. I just said, okay, I'm gonna be so-called normal, right? And the very people that were telling me how I should do things didn't want to help me with the things that they were saying I should do. And after a year, the on switch came on. I said, wait a minute. If I'm going to live my life the way people are saying I should live it, and they're not satisfied, I might as well do what I like doing because they're going to talk anyway.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
then after a year getting up and mopping that hotel, I can't believe I did that.
That's
I mean, I cannot believe that I did that. And I don't have nothing against the Holiday Inn. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But like in my case, I knew I wanted to do music. I had this goal and this dream. And I'm sitting up there giving this up, living because everybody was saying it's time for me to be normal. So I learned from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wonderful when I started doing my music again and started practicing again at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would get up at 4 a.m, and since there were no buses running and what have you at that time, the very people telling me what I should be doing didn't want to get out of the bed to take me to the hotel to do what they wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Asaph do? Okay, I'll walk it. That was a 2-mile walk. I'm sitting out there at 4:30 or so in the morning, walking 2 miles to get to that hotel just to get that mop. And I mean, I had to mop this huge hallway like room, and then I had to go in a bar and dump trash from all the winos and alcoholics that were drinking at night. I had to shine the brass, and I'm like, after a year, I'm like, I can't believe I just wasted a whole year of my life doing that. Because I thought that by doing that, people would stop talking. They kept on talking, and it was like, okay, Asaph, you're doing this, now why don't you do this? You're doing that, why don't you do this? And it's just never enough. I said, well, like I mentioned earlier, hey, if they're going to talk, I might as well let them talk doing what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of the story, follow your dream. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. Really.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Follow that dream, because, before we close this up, we're running out of time. I never would have got to live the life that I had lived if I had listened to everybody for good.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have went to the conservatory. I never would have played in Vegas. I never would have played in Hollywood. I never would have studied with Bunce Blackwell. I never would have played for the Salvation Army for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got nominated for the California Jefferson Award, which is a national award.
Mm-hmm.
I got nominated by ABC Television.
Wow.
So, my point is, none of that would have happened if I had just listened to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. When you're getting advice, you'll get it. You'll know what's good and what works for you and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get emotionally stronger and mentally stronger to just not take it so personal and just follow your dream. That's my advice to all people your age, Because when you're at university here soon and you get into that first drama play or whatever, you don't know where that's going to lead you, where that's going to take you. Some professor might walk up to you and say, hey, kid, you're good. I got this project here, I want you to do such and such, He might have you write out something, or he might send you on some tiny little job or something, or sit in with someone.
Mm-hmm.
You never know, so I just wish you all the best. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
I can tell you're excited,
yeah.
So I just wish you all the best. And on that note, let's make some final acknowledgments and we'll sign off. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of Asaph Cafe. You can see her set her on the screen.
I know.
Here.
I've been looking at it so often.
Well, it looks more clear on the computer, which I'll show you in a moment.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, thanks for tuning in. And my special guest is Jeremy. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Shines.
Shines, that's right. Jeremy Shines. This young man is going to have a wonderful, promising future in drama and theater and the arts and his school and wherever else life is going to take. Any last minute final things you want to say before we sign off?
It's just love.
There you go. That's a good way to end this episode here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. And on behalf of Jeremy Shines and myself, until our next show, Maranatha. That's how I end every show with that. And I'll get this prepared and I'll make you a copy to take home.
Awesome.
Make yourself at home in a cafe if you want.
Yeah. This is awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being part of that, too.
Thank you.